All right, so bishop f6 is the move. Good job there. So it's nice to know that you guys are comfortable with checkmates in one. If you were unable to see this one, again, like where I would start is just look at moves that create a threat. Here we see that the king is very exposed, and we got a queen and a bishop, two powerful pieces close to the king. So then, what I would personally think about first is ways we can attack the king using the queen or bishop. And we see right now, the king is pretty trapped. Our queen is protecting these squares. So a simple bishop check, checkmates. And of course, before we release and play bishop f6, we can also double check in our head. Okay, let's say we play bishop f6. Can black do anything? And then see black's options. Look at your opponent's choices, opponent's response. And then once you're clear, okay, no way, black's got no moves, then you play the move. And again, this is why I recommend rapid time controls or longer chess games, because here, let's go back to the end game. Because in fast, if you're playing like Blitz or Bullet, you won't have time to think about your opponent's response, and that defeats the purpose. All right, guys. So here's a point I want to make with this one right here is, so this position here, let's actually see if you guys notice one or not. Who's going to win? White or black? Or it's going to be a draw? I'll give you guys a hint. Black cannot win because black has no pieces. So it's going to be a draw or white's going to win. Our choices are down to 2 now. Okay, let's see. What do you guys got to say? Draw, win. Okay, so I got 2 different answers. Gloria saying draw. Not Jin. Gavin saying win. So now this is what do we do? Or I guess what do we do is we look at this position deeper here. So I'm hearing draw. I'm hearing win. This position, let's actually play it out. And then I'll let you guys, as I play it out, try to keep guessing. Okay, does it look like a draw? Does it look like a win? All right, so let's say white's got a pawn here. The pawn, where is it going to promote? Well, it's going to promote on h8 because it's going to go straight, go on right here. So this is the square you want to focus on. Now, if you notice right here, white can't just push the pawn right away, because then the black king can take it, and then it'll be a draw. So the king has to come in. So let's say white tries to bring in his king. But black, this is very important. If you're playing this as black and you want to draw this game, never ever move away from the promoting square. Remember, guys, promoting square is where this pawn is going to promote. So it's right here on h8. So black shouldn't move his king right here, because then now the pawn has nothing stopping it from promoting. So that's why, because black is a good player, they're going to stick around on the promoting square and ready to cover it. And at the very end here, we go in this position here, and it's white to move. Is this a win? Can white win somehow? Try looking at this, see white's possible moves. And remember, guys, pick a move to see for white, to check for white, and then see what black's gonna do. And then go on to the next one. And then tell me, a sure answer is, does this look like a draw or a win? And this will cover some topics that I have not mentioned yet. So what I mean by that is, I don't want to spoil it, but I'll spoil it. What I mean by that is stalemate. Stalemate, we haven't really gone over it, but basically It's when your opponent has no moves, but they're not in a check. Anywho, before I explain that further, I want to hear you guys' input. When I'm Jackson, yo, why does your name keep changing? All right, King H6. Yeah, so King H6. Let's go back to that. Yeah, so exactly, Gloria. King H6. And if you just like think about your own move, if you just think about you and you play King H6, this might look like white might still win, but like I was saying, King H6, and then think about your opponent's response. All right, guys, King H6, how is black gonna respond? And then you'll realize black has no moves. The king cannot move, but the king is not in a check, so this is stalemate. We will go more in depth on this in future classes, so for now, don't worry about it. Main thing here that I wanted to show you here was that when you got a pawn on the edge, and when the enemy king is covering the promoting square, the game is a draw. So this is important. The enemy king has to cover the promoting square. The king is like way back here, then white can just push the pawn and promote. And if you're black, then keep your king on the promoting square. What I mean by promoting square is where the pawn is going to promote in the future. So a little bit of planning ahead goes a long way. All right, so I actually wanted to do something here. So guys, remember that side pawns lead to a draw. So let's go right here. And because you're intermediate, I bet you play lots of games. You have like good like chess experience now. And you might be thinking, well, end games, I don't need to study that. They're easy. Like all the pieces are gone, all the queens are gone. It's not scary. It's simple. Not quite. That's why you gotta study end games. And that's why I would suggest like just getting good at end games, because end games make you better at focusing, and also they make you a precise player. Because in an end game, you move your king in the wrong spot, you lose the game. Or you take the wrong pawn, or you lose one pawn. That could be the difference between you getting a queen or not. So that's what I mean is end games. When you get comfortable with end games, they make you a precise player. So let's see exactly what I mean here by how accurate and precise we have to be. And to be precise, you simply have to always look at your opponent's options or look at your opponent's response. I'm going to say that so many times over, guys. So play longer chess games, and especially in complex positions, before you make a move blindly, try to figure out your opponent's response. This is crucial. So here, all right, right here, guys, this is the position I wanted to stop at right here. So black played pawn h3, which is a very odd move. And I want you guys to tell me here, what should white do? What would you do here as white? And now you have a couple of choices here, right? Nice thing about the endgame is there's literally not many moves available. Like here, we got like pawn takes, pawn moves, or like move the king. Very few moves. But the tough thing is we gotta make sure we are precise. What I mean by that is with each of these moves, gotta make sure you see the outcome, see your opponent's response. So guys, here, what should white do? I find like endgame players are also very good positional players. Like they're very good at positioning their pawns well, good at pawn structures, good at coordinating their pieces. And that's why I just feel like endgames is a really great way to start. All right, let's see what you guys have to say. Ooh, 8 chat comments. Let's see. Capture of kind of H2. Okay. h2 or h3, king h2, white takes pawn. So, all right. Oh, my brother. Okay, I see. So let's look at this position again. I'm hearing lots of captures. King h2. And guys, here's the thing. Now get this. King h2. Well, let's play this out. King h2. What is black going to do? Well, black is probably going to take the pawn. And then we're probably going to take back. And this looks like a draw because we both got a king. And we both cannot checkmate one another. So this is called draw by insufficient material. But that's not very important to know for now. For now, we just eliminated a move. King h2. Well, pawn takes, king takes. It's a draw. And notice how, because we looked at our opponent's response, we didn't just pick king h2 as our final move. We saw, okay, king h2. Wait, black takes our pawn. Then we trade pawns. It's an even game. Let's look at the other one you guys were saying, which is pawn takes h3. And this looks very good, right? But this is a draw too. Because remember last example about the edge pawns. The edge pawns will lead to a draw because black's king will be able to come to the promoting square in time. So if you look here, the king's going to have to move. And we go into literally the exact same position as last time. So guys, this is why it's important to know these little things, like how the edge pawn is a draw if the king can make it to the promoting square. And that's why the best move here is actually pawn g3. Here's why. Because later, after black plays a move, then we take a pawn, the pawn. And in this case, we don't have any edge pawns. So we got a nice, so this pawn, this is winnable. And exactly how to win this, it does get a little complex. So I'll leave that for a future lesson. But for now, this is to show you how tricky endgames can be. How, notice how literally us deciding not to take the pawn was the best move that led us to win. And if we moved our king or if we took the pawn, it's a draw. So guys, like to get good at these things, you just gotta keep get comfortable playing more endgame situations. What I like to do is also, you can search up famous or popular common endgame positions and then play them against computers. That's a great way. If you can beat 2 pawns up and beat the maximum computer, then you should have pretty good endgame skills. All right, so let's go back, jump into some tactics here. All right, so in this position, guys, I don't know. You guys did that maiden 1 really easily last time. Let's give you guys a maiden 2. So guys, let's try this one here. And to make it easier, I'll kind of let you guys know that this is a checkmate in 2, and white to win. And nicely, this is also an endgame puzzle. So it sort of relates to our topic too. All right, guys, try your best. And with tactics, with tactical puzzles, from my experience, I can tell you that when I look at a puzzle and I just guess a move and I just play it, I don't get better. My visualization doesn't get better. My train doesn't get trained. My brain doesn't get trained. So what you want to do instead is you want to, even if it's a very difficult looking puzzle, you want to try your best. Think of your brain as a muscle. The more it works, the more it contracts and has a hard time, has to think, the better it'll get, the more it'll grow. So that's really where the benefits of chess come from. And that's why, again, you want to play longer chess games because you'll have to think more. I find a lot of chess players these days, and me too, I'll be honest, but I do also play longer chess on the side, but they're very like blitz chess, it can be addicting. It literally feels like a video game. It's really addicting. People love to rush, so they play it all the time, but their chess doesn't progress. So guys, if you want to get better fast, remember, rapid games are longer. Anywho, let's look at this one. See the positioning, see what white can do, and mate in 2. First, I think. Okay, wow. Okay, so if I was on my computer, then I'll be able to see these comments on the side. But okay, let's see. White takes h2. That's from last time. I beat bot level 1. That's really good. That's actually what I used to do. Is I used to like just start level 1 and then 2 and then 3, and bots are really tough. Pawn b3. My brother's doing bot level 6. No way. There's only 8 levels, right? No way. Bot level 6. Is your brother like? Is he really good? Must be really good. All right, guys. So what do you think in this position? What should white do here?
I think it should be pawn b3 first.
Pawn b3?
Wait, no, pawn b4.
Pawn b4. All right, so here's the nice thing here. Because I want you guys, so if I just play the move pawn b4, you guys are gonna find it a lot easier. But what I'm gonna tell you is, yes, pawn b4 is the right first move. For everybody, I'm gonna repeat, pawn b4 is the first move. Now here's your challenge here. Let's assume we just played pawn b4. Visualize from this position, we just played pawn b4, and then see black's response. And then afterwards, see your next move. So we will be thinking one move ahead here. And guys, I'll be doing a lot of slow tactical training with you guys a lot, because the biggest, hugest, and I don't know if hugest is the word, but the biggest advantage you can have over your opponent, over all your opponents when playing chess, is to be able to visualize and move further than they can. Because if you can do that, it's going to help you everywhere. Opening, middle game, end game, you're going to be seeing moves, seeing lines that they cannot see because they can't visualize. So that's why, guys, this is crucial that everybody tries this and tries their best. So remember, guys, white plays pawn b4. So here, what is black going to play in return? Black only has one option, so this should be a little easier. And then what's white going to play next? All right, I'm just going to read some comments and then we'll get back to this one. Rook a6. Ooh, rook a6. Interesting. All right. Am I seeing things, or did more people like just join the class? Well, if you did, welcome, guys. I'm your chess teacher. It's a little late that you joined, but it's okay. Come early next time. Yeah. So here, guys, pawn b4. What's the king gonna do? What's gonna be black's response?
It's going to capture that pawn.
Can't go here. The rook's gonna take, so it has to capture the pawn. So king's gonna end up here, and then here, checkmate in 1. Rook a6. Now, if you were able to visualize all this from this position here, when I said pawn b4, if you were able to see all that, bravo. That is so impressive. That is actually way above intermediate level, in my opinion, or like intermediate class. But that's a very good vision. And if you actually were able to do that, what I'll tell you is you have a mini gift in tactics and get even better. If you can see it at 1 move ahead, do 2 moves ahead, 3 moves ahead, 4 moves ahead. There's always room to grow. And Anywho, and to everybody else who were not quite able to get it, we will be training this so much all summer. And preferably by the end of the summer, you should feel very comfortable. And your chess skills, your games, your chess rating should go up. That's kind of my hope. But remember, guys, I am only part of the help here for you guys to get better at chess. The other part comes from you training chess on your own time, you playing chess. All right, let's do one example here. Let's see. So this is like speaking of endgames, and basically, guys, there are two common principles for endgames. I don't know why the engine turned on. All right, so there's two common principles for endgames. Principle number one is you want to use your king. Your king is like a piece in an endgame. So I know you normally in the middle game, early game, you want to keep your king in the corner. You want to castle your king. But in the end game, your king is powerful. It's actually stronger than a pawn before a pawn promotes, but the king is like a piece. That's why you want to use your king. I like using my kings. I never, or like unless there's nothing stopping the pawn, I don't like to push the pawn alone. I love using my king's help. In this position here, guys, to win this game, white can start by advancing his king and then advancing the pawn either here or here, and making sure that the king is always with the pawns. And then what you want to do here is advance the king. This is important. And notice right now, so black, let's say, plays here. What would you guys play here? Let me know. There's actually many right answers here, but let me know what you would play here. Okay, let's see what you guys got to say. And then I'll post the link to the tournament, by the way. Pawn b3, king. Yes, actually, yeah, king. So, one sec here. Yeah, guys, you want to advance your king. Get your king in there. This is important. And then basically we're using our king to drive the king away, and then we can promote our pawn. I know I went over this all fast, but basically the idea here is push your pawns, but make sure that your king is helping. Make sure your king is leading the action. Make sure your king is around the pawns. Because if we never used our kings, say if we just pushed our pawns, then they would all disappear. So remember, guys, king, king, king. Use your king. All right, so here's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to stop share for a bit, and I'm going to share the link to the chess tournament. And I also want to hear input from you guys. So let me tell you what I mean by that. All right, first off, the link is coming really soon. All right, here you go, guys. Ready? Wait, I'm having butterfingers. I keep slipping. All right, so here is the link to the tournament. You should be able to join it. And this is tournaments, by the way, are a great way to get some practice games in. I found that I played a lot better in tournaments because I tend to